That's what it comes to right now, and I have for years. And you know, I'm normally doing the grunt work.
Well, it can be very frustrating. It's frustrating because my role at Art for God, you know, being the webmaster, is something that I taught myself. So when it needed to be bigger and it needed to be badder and it needed to be more capable and more vast and to store all this stuff, is stuff I didn't know how to do, and I had to learn it. It's gone from the first version, the black background with the images and kind of silly looking, to what it is today, and now it's so complex. I lose my place. You know, I have to go back and change things. It's got you know, databases, and you know, people can log in and check their past invoices, and it keeps track of so much information and brings in some orders, and that's my contribution.
Well, all my kids are artistic. Arbella just took a special shine to art, and she had some really adorable sketches, and there was one in particular that I saw, and I've got the original sketch thumbtacked to the studio wall over there, called The Miracle Baby. And so I saw the sketch, The Miracle Baby, and she let me be her tutor, and we worked diligently, you know, and I showed her what brushes to use, helped her mix the color, taught her about the brush strokes, taught her about color and composition. I mean, I pushed her, not to the limits of frustration, but I pushed her to her delight. And she created what I think, for what was an 8-year-old, virtually a masterpiece. And we gave away some prints. They always want you to give away prints to help raise money. So, but her print made more money than mine. I was very proud of her. Little Van was my bookmark guy. He wanted 10 cents a piece to sleeve bookmarks. And I started out that way. And this guy's a bean counter.
I can do hundreds a day. My biggest high score of these has been like 1,000.
He got good and he got fast, and he was making like $40 a day sleeving bookmarks. And I said, I can't pay you that, Van. And we tried to negotiate down, and he actually walked out of the negotiating table. He left me. He walked out. He stalemated me.
I don't, why, you know how like you regret things that you want to change from the past? I mean, that's kind of how it is. I kind of regret that.
But he, being a lovely spiritual young man, he came to reason, and
we changed it to 3 because I could do them faster in a day than I could when I was little, and so
he made over $1,000 in his own personal account just sleeving bookmarks. I mean, that's a lot of bookmarks.
I can do 1,000 before a day if I wanted to, but I just don't have that kind of energy anymore.
I don't even remember when they call me Steve or when they call me Dad, or when they call Cindy Cindy, or when they call her Mom.
It's kind of a normal thing for me. I'm around them so much. I used to do it when I was younger. I don't know why. Maybe it was just because I didn't only see them as parents, but as adults in the separate tents.
It seemed very natural to us, but it was very unusual to a lot of people. For years, people would go, "Why did your son call you Steve?" And I go, "Well, because that's my name." You know, and there was a certain freedom about that level playing field. When your child respected you because you earned their respect, not because you had a title over them. All my kids have called me by name. When they want to call me Dad, they call me Dad. When they call me Steve, they call me Steve. And I have no... My responsibility and authority as an adult is not threatened or challenged by that at all. In fact, as they grow older, it reminds me that my authority diminishes every day that they mature more. And there are times when I hear my older kids call me Steve in a tone that reminds me of something that I may have heard from my parents.
Because I'm around them and I work with them, a lot of times to get something done, I say, Steve, do this now. Sign that so we can send it. Instead of, Daddy, please do this, you know. It helps the assertiveness out a little bit, I would say.
Part of it as a family business is there aren't any secrets. You know, they see our joy, they see our sorrow.
I think that also we don't hide things from them. I think a lot of parents, you know, it's a lot of what goes on in the parent's life or the business. Kids never know. They're clueless. And they are constantly a part of it. And sometimes in our conversations, they'll get right in there and they'll be, well, I think you should do this. And, you know, like, Arbella, just, we'll take care of this one. But they're, you know, they're in on it, and they put their 2 cents in, and, you know, sometimes they have good ideas, and we go with it, and they know that their ideas are valuable, even from little ones, and so they are part of the whole thing, and they feel very included. With them being part of the creative process, they're always with us. They're always working with us. They know that we need them. They know that we're not perfect. If we make a mistake, we apologize. There is a human experience with our children, not just mommy and daddy. And they feel very responsible to each other and to us and to the family.
It's a family business. It's definitely a family business. But I had a head-on collision with my art because I realized at 75 that Jesus of Nazareth, when I started to learn who he was, I realized that he'd been shortchanged in art. Completely, totally. Deity had been ripped off in a way because art had not kept up with what God was doing. It had lagged behind. It had its own little comfort zone with, you know, sweet art that would comfort and not rock the boat. But what was due now? What was missing? And if I cared, what was I going to do about it? And I did care, and just like I had done my entire life in elementary, junior high, high school, and college, I volunteered to be the class artist. I volunteered. I said, you know, God, I want that job. And I made a very real commitment to try to portray the life and teachings of Jesus as I could learn to understand them. And like most people, when they get a call of God on their life, or whatever they want to call it, I figured I was ready right then, but that was 75, and the big leap is I didn't start Art for God till 20 years later. Downstairs in this building, I saw him walking across the street, and I knew immediately, just like when I saw Cindy. I ran across the street, ran up behind him, tapped him on the shoulder, and he turned around and I said, I've been looking for you for 20 years. I'd looked at hundreds and hundreds of men, and as I like to say, I made many men uncomfortable because I would stare at them. What are you looking at? And then there are times some guys would look back at me and make me really uncomfortable because I think maybe they thought I was coming on to them and they liked the idea. So without him seeing any artwork about Jesus because I hadn't done it yet. He just said, sure.